Hi there, this is Eli. Wanted to jump in here real quick and say thank you to everybody who has been listening to Dandies in Danger. We really appreciate you, the audience, and everything you've done for us. We also wanted to give an extra special thank you to our top tier patrons, Mies, Sean Miller, and Nicole. Thank you so much for your support, without which we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, here's what we can offer you. For $1, you can get monthly outtakes. For $5, you can get behind-the-scenes letters written by the lads, music blogs from Chess Albanese, and poetry written by Adrian and Daniel. If you are unable to support with a monthly donation right now, we do have a Ko-fi set up under Dandies in Danger. With your monthly donations and Ko-fi tips, we're hoping to utilize these funds to pay for better sound tech to make the show as good as it can be. A future goal would be to make Dandies in Danger a full-time job for all of us. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it. And now, for some Dandies in Danger.
Previously on Dandies in Danger.
I'm Mr. Francis Blythe. He looks incredibly tired. This is the doing of that damned Lord Bush. My daughter gives her medicines, but we can't leave. She's ill again by night. He's unable to stay awake for longer than this.
So we haven't found Lord Bush at all?
As soon as we get in, Liam removes the books from his jacket. One of them is Damonology. The other one is Harnessing the Power Within. This has been fully annotated by Lord Bush. As you're making this discovery, we can have Daniel, Zach, and Dorothea enter into the Amethyst Room.
I guess I'll stay up here with Dorothea. We'll come over the books.
Adrian, Liam, and Zachary. The spring draws you in. 9 life-size statues presiding over the spring. 3 other men who are still dressed, but their clothes are dripping wet, and they stand in a circle gazing down at a single selection of tiles. We simultaneously recognize that these men are not guests, but ghosts.
Zachary hastily walks over and he goes, Adrian, could I see you for a moment? Zachary goes behind a screen with Adrian. There's something sort of in the middle of the bath that I can sense. There's a problem with me getting into the bath. And he drops his shirt and there is an AFAB body underneath. Maybe you can distract everybody and I'll get in real quick and I'll sense around and then I'll get out.
Adrian, calm down. You can stand. You can stand. Just put your feet, put your feet down.
I don't think I can.
I've got you, Adrian. Zach, you feel whatever is underneath the water in the center of this pool has demonic energy.
Hi, my name is Elijah, my pronouns are he, him, and I play the voice of Zachary Wilkos.
Hello, I'm Cass. Pronouns are she, her, and I voice Liam Bardsley.
Hi, I'm Chess. He, she, they, and I voice Daniel Pritchard.
Hi, I'm Toast. Pronoun she, they, and I play Adrian Edwards.
So we've been away from Daniel for a spell, while the other lads are down in the bath, getting up to shenanigans. Daniel is up with Dorothea in the Amethyst Room, and you are poring over the 2 books which Leah managed to squirrel away from Lord Howard Bush's office. She's poring over the Damonology book, and she's, flipping through the pages. Do you want to kick off right after the other lads leave, or do you want to jump in after they've done some reading?
I think we're both so focused on, let's figure this out, that we're literally just gonna throw our noses straight into the books. So we can cut to after we have read a bit and discerned a few things. But Daniel will be, he probably grabbed some notepaper if there's any notepaper available. If there's not, he's writing on his cuffs again.
Dorothea has a notebook that she's been writing in, and she's more than happy to give you a few pages out of the notebook to write these notes down. Dorothea is also scribbling away furiously. She's very much in the zone. She kind of loses attention for what's going on in the room around her as she's poring over this. So you might have to be the first one to make a move.
I think they both are hyperfixating.
Then they sit in silence. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Let me finish. I have a few things of note if you're willing to listen.
Yes? Oh, I have a few things as well. What have you found so far?
Sorry for disturbing you. Well, his name is Lord Howard Bush, whoever this person is, and apparently he has what he refers to as an adversary. And...
She kind of grins at this. But then she focuses up again. Is this some person?
It wasn't confirmed what or who it may be. He merely said adversary. And he seems to be trying to empower himself to defeat this adversary. But he's been experimenting on ghosts and souls. He says they are much like electricity. He has discovered an alternative to intent. He believes souls are all connected to a wellspring, a power of unlimited potential beyond men and heaven and hell. He does not seem adverse to working with curses. He mentions that Nathaniel has a family curse that he seems to be taking advantage of. He says it keeps him docile. He has been experimenting with powerful artifacts and has lost what he refers to as many. But he seems content that it's all going to pay off somehow. He mentions roots a few times. He implies that his magical power is more powerful with a root present. But he doesn't really say anything else about these roots. I don't know if they're metaphorical. They might be a physical root, or they could be something to anchor a spell. He has experimented on Nathaniel. He has definitely used... Yes, he has definitely used shield and has purposefully damaged him to see how effective this shield is, and he has created a few of his spells as well, including a binding spell, which he has also tested on our host Nathaniel. He mentions he might want to restore Francis Blythe with the full revival, but he also mentions that he is possibly looking to replace Nathaniel and Francis because he fears they know too much. And he mentions the substitute for intent. And
what do you mean by a substitute for intent?
Oh, intent is what you use to power magic that comes from within if you're not tied to an angel or a demon or anything that is supplying you magic and it comes from yourself. Your intent would be you will it to be. And he looks to be replacing it. He notes that his substitute is ironically compatible with light, a light spell. So I'm wondering if perhaps it has something to do with darkness. A few of the spells he invented are completely soundproofing a room, a binding spell, a spell of written influence. Using the substitute, inscribe the phrase legite et credite onto any document to convince the reader of its veracity. So, you might notice, if you received a pamphlet, we certainly did, it had this inscripted upon it.
Why, oh, well that's how I heard about this place, is there was a pamphlet, someone put it out by the window by my parents' shop, and I happened to see it there, and...
You felt compelled to come, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I thought I had already been wanting to take a break, but, well, my sisters will tell you, I was quite insistent upon the matter after I read the pamphlet.
Seems you fell victim to the spell just as our friend Adrian did. It's a thrall. The thrall is admittedly easier to resist than the spell of persuasion, but it is a great deal harder to notice. It need only be written on the first page if the material is bound, but bear in mind that the thrall lasts for an hour, so the text cannot be overlong. So it cannot be an entire novel, he writes. And he also has a spell of command. This enchantment can be imprinted onto a vessel during a period of silent concentration of intent. So this is not using the substitute, this is intent still. Naturally, one must tap into the confidence of command, which is the responsibility and birthright of certain men. So he's a bit classist. In order to command others, one must first possess total control of oneself. Idle thoughts and errant emotions during the preparation stage render the spell quite useless. The spell is, unfortunately, incompatible with the substitute. The caster must be physically present to touch the subject while equipped with the vessel, uttering the phrase audite et obidi. The command must then be spoken, no more than a few sentences at most. For whatever reason, commands that directly endanger the life of the subject break the spell immediately. 4 new spells.
And if I recall, you said you had read this before, this book.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Pritchard,
Yes.
She reaches forward, and she takes your hands. I need something from you.
He blushes. Oh, do you?
I want you to look at me.
Raises his eyebrows. He looks at her.
And tell me, earnestly, that these spells, these contrivances, I want to know that this is real, and that this isn't just some silly lark to make fun of me, somehow.
Oh.
You earnestly believe this, though?
Yes, I've, used a few of these myself.
How can that be? If this intent is what you say, how is it that not everyone is walking around every day, casting their intent here and there?
Well, he closes the book and then he holds it by the spine and he kind of like waggles it to draw attention to it, and he's like, "This is very difficult to get your hands on."
So even someone like me would be able to do something like this? If I just thought about it really hard and...
Well, yes, if you knew the words to say and you prepped everything that you needed to prep and you had the intent, yes, you could. It takes a bit of practice, though. I had to practice a bit.
My lord, this is so hard to believe. I mean, you must understand, my family runs a shop. I've just, my whole life, and now this? If it hadn't been, for certain things and the announcing of the church to the public, I wouldn't believe it at all, and I would say that you were just trying to... I don't know what you would do with a lie like this, but I think I do believe you. And she's looking at your eyes. You can see she's doing the thing where, you look from one pupil to the other, and she's gazing deeply into your eyes. So then, there must be means that we have to protect ourselves and to thwart him. If we're thwarting a sorcerer... Sorry, it sounded rather silly. So that's what we are, right? We're here to thwart a sorcerer who consorts with ghosts and demons. Why, it is rather something like out of Shakespeare.
It is, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's what we're here for. To put an end to this nightmare.
Very good. Dorothea, because I don't believe Daniel has received this information yet in full, I will read the inscription at the front of the Damonology book again so that Daniel can hear it. The inscription here says, "My good Theodore King, it pleases us that, in addition to thy name, station, and property, we present these 2 tokens in honour of thy most loyal service. The first remind thee and thy descendants, to whom belong your most fruitful hours. This second gift, to ward against the likes of which thou hast thwarted and thereby preserved our royal body. God be with ye."
He mentioned we gave you your name. Was that standard? Would kings, when they gifted nobility, would they gift family names as well?
Mm-hmm. So you can safely now, with your kind of general knowledge, you can make the assumption that the last name King has come from one of the root meanings of the name, which was conferred onto somebody who served a king or, did a great service or was a servant of a king. Sometimes people like that would get the last name King.
Oh, okay.
So not that their lineage
Daniel
was
would
a
know that.
king, but that they had served kings. And so
Okay.
that's where that last name comes from.
Quite a fall from grace. No doubt it has to do with the family curse, but how did it come about?
That's an excellent question. Did you see the hall of portraits down on the ground floor?
I did, yes.
Those portraits do seem to go back to around the time that this gift could have been conferred.
Yes.
This book.
Wait, 2 gifts, right?
Yes.
The inscription?
Yes, it does say that. It says, it references a first gift, but it doesn't say what it is. It just says this second gift is the book.
He looks through Harnessing the Power Within. He doubts that this would be the first book, because Maggot presumably wrote it much later, but he looks anyway, because that's pretty much all they have on them, just to confer. Well, I wonder what that first gift was.
That is curious. I wonder if we could ask Nathaniel.
I don't know about that. A common spell is... Well, there's a spell where essentially someone can use a brooch to spy on another person, and he often wears brooches.
Oh, so we should be very careful then what we say in front of Mr. King.
Absolutely.
Oh, my word. And the mirrors also, is that a similar spell?
Yes, it is a very good looking glass.
So we have to figure out how to thwart Lord Bush somehow. And poor Mr. King, no wonder he seems so on edge all of the time if he's been so poorly treated.
I think his injured hand might be another experiment.
Oh, my word. That poor man. If there's any way we can get him out of this situation, we simply must.
I agree. Him, his brother-in-law, and his niece.
His niece? The toy. Of course, there's a child here.
Yes.
And Francis Blythe. So that was Mr. King's brother-in-law?
Yes.
And his niece is here. So there's the whole family of them.
Indeed, the whole family. Zachary and I had a bit of an experience in the garden. We believe the girl's mother, Francis's wife, to be dead. And very angry about it.
Oh dear.
The woman in the thaumatrope. That was her.
I see. But the thaumatrope she was looking over the child. Perhaps she can't bear to move on to the next world because her daughter's in danger here.
He has a reflective sort of expression, and he kind of like nods subtly as he's thinking about it, his face conveying that is very tragic if true.
Well then, let's see if we can put the pieces together here. Nathaniel's family line did some service for James I and have since fallen down considerably. They might be under some sort of curse, which it seems Lord Bush has taken advantage of for his own ends.
Yes. I wonder if the curse has anything to do with demons. What else did you find?
I'm afraid it's rather thick. The book does have a few sections applauding the use of liberal witch hunting.
Ah.
Would this Lord Bush, would he count as a witch then? Could we call the church in on this?
I would not involve the church at all.
Oh, that's right. You said that you had practiced magic as well.
Well, just in general, the church is a bit militaristic when it comes to dealing with any sort of magic whatsoever. They are as likely to help as they are to hurt.
I see how it is. Well, I trust you on that matter. I shan't speak a word to them then.
He looks very relieved.
Was that your breath, Eli, that you had been holding?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because Daniel's like, my best friends are a witch.
So then, we have a lot more on our hands now that we know about. So, Lord Bush has an adversary. Lord Bush is trying to gain more power. This we know from your book.
Yes.
And Lord Bush has some sort of association with demons.
I should think so, and I think Nathaniel's family does too. They seem to have fought demons, I assume, from that inscription, the way that King James talks about it. I wonder if maybe in fighting demons, in being close to them, they eventually suffered a curse. A demonic curse that won't leave, it lingers.
Well, then, Daniel, Mr. Pritchard, excuse me.
Daniel's fine.
Oh. Well, then you must also call me Dorothea.
I think he has been calling her Dorothea. Yes. He blushes because he realizes, I should have asked her. I should have called her Miss Crispin.
But what is our next plan of action then? What can we do? How can we help Mr. King or even the rest of the guests?
Well, I believe he's just a man. Perhaps a powerful one. A sorcerer. But just a man. Meaning, spells can be broken. If we understand how they're set up, which we do now. He taps at the book in his hand. Perhaps we can understand how to undo them.
Excellent. So should we let the other guests know what's going on?
Oh, no. Well, first off, no one would believe us. And second off, it would blow the whole thing. I think it's important to take Lord Bush by surprise.
Very good. And then, where should we start to undo whatever spells he's woven throughout the house? Or should we start by trying to find the spider? Do you think he's here?
The spider?
Well, sorry, a bit of, perhaps a bit of purple language there. He's woven spells, presumably, around.
Yes,
We need to break the spells, or should we... sorry.
He smiles.
I'll workshop it.
Sorry, I was confused for a moment. Spider's a good description. He thinks about it. Spiders sense every vibration in their web. We will have to tread very carefully.
And we will move from there back down to the bath. At this point, Adrian is still causing quite a disruption in the water, flapping his little arms around. Liam, in great distress, fully taken in, is concerned that this aforementioned monster of the bathwater is somehow afflicting Adrian in ways that he can't conceive of. Possibly Adrian's being possessed again. So, whenever we return to the bath, Adrian has been hoisted out of the water by Liam, who carried him out and has laid him on the ground, on the tile of the bathhouse, and is hovering over him, trying to get him back to his senses. Colonel Gurney and Father Underwood are standing. They haven't left the water, unlike the other two, and they're standing some distance away, watching with rapt attention. Nevin is trying very hard to ignore whatever the fuck is going on over there, because, gosh darn it, he wants to enjoy his raffle vacation.
Currently, I'm Team Nevin.
It's like, shut up.
So, while Zach is sussing things out in the center of the pool, Adrian, what's your reaction to this?
He's gonna try to keep playing into it, so he's got, like, his hand on his forehead, sort of wilting, like, oh, goodness, oh, gosh. And he peeks an eye open to look around and see if Zach is still in the pool or not.
Yeah, Zach is in the pool, but actually, before I tell you that, please roll me a wisdom. I want you to see if you can see.
Okay. It's a fucking 8.
So you can't see very well because Liam is patting your face desperately, like grabbing onto the cheeks and being like, Adrian, are you all right? And he's like literally like over you, just like trying desperately to like get you back to your senses. Adrian, tell me, has something got you? Are you hurt? You're out of the water now.
Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. It's a distraction. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I can hardly breathe. It's quite warm in here, don't you? It's just a distraction. I'm fine. It's... Oh, gosh. It's so steamy.
Okay. I'm going to roll for Liam.
What'd you get?
Oh, no.
What'd you get?
1.
Liam only rolled a 3 on that, so Liam is too distressed to actually hear you saying that it's just a distraction. He doesn't quite grasp it, and so it's a great distraction because he's continuing to like hover over you to just like get you back to yourself, and his little smacks on your face are becoming a little bit more forceful. Like, remember who you are. Zach, while that's happening, while comedy hour is happening over on the edge of the pool, you've just realized that whatever sort of muffled, inactive energy you're feeling from the center of the pool is demonic. So, what's your next move?
He raises his head out of the water, and he is gripped with shock in this realization that he, for a moment, forgot what Adrian was doing, and looked over, remembers immediately, remembers also that he's in nothing but a towel, and just gets up to go behind the screen.
Do me a d20 roll, and then you can roll with advantage, because Liam is getting more heated, and the distraction is continuing on with Adrian doing a great job, so roll with advantage.
Now Liam is the distractor.
Do I add anything?
Nope.
Then unfortunately it's just a 10.
Okay, so the distraction works temporarily to your disadvantage. You see that once Liam starts not shouting exactly, but the distress of his voice becomes so intense that Nevin actually does open his eyes to, like, make sure that somebody hasn't fucking drowned in the pool.
I mean, at this point, Adrian's also being like, stop it.
And so Nevin looks up and is gonna just catch a glance of you leaving the pool. You all right, Mr. Wilkos? Leaving already? I didn't even see you get in.
Well, seems a bit dangerous with the way Adrian took a tumble. Suppose I'll pass. The whole point, he says, and he's gotten out of the towel, and even, like, he's trying to, like, desperately, like, towel and dry himself off so he can get immediately back into his clothes. He's behind the screen, right?
Yeah, you were, like, on your way out, so...
Great. So he's just going, I mean, the whole point is for these waters to heal us, right? Be a bit silly if I injured myself, you know, going into the healing waters.
Can Adrian hear him now?
Yeah.
Is he still being shaken by Liam?
Yeah.
Okay, at this point he's like, it's fine, you can stop, please.
Oh, you're all right now.
He leans in closer this time. It's like, it was a clever distraction. There's nothing wrong with me.
Liam looks very distracted. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've played your part excellently.
Right. I'll get back in the water then. I
Yes,
think.
do relax. I think after that, perhaps you'll need to loosen up.
All right, I'm gonna get back in the water. You're all right, though. You didn't hurt yourself.
No.
Was that Zachary?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Nevin goes back to resting. He only had minimal investment anyway. He's just like, yeah, all right, okay. Weird guys. Weird people here at this house is kind of what's going through Nevin's head right now. But he's just gonna relax himself. Liam rejoins the colonel and the priest. Leonard is looking very coyly at Adrian, like, I know what you're about. He's giving you that kind of coy look.
Oh my god, Adrian sees that and he's like, oh fuck. Because he thinks he fucked up the distraction and he must have seen Zachary or something. He doesn't read it at all. He's like, yeah. he puts his hands up and shakes them a little like, no.
Leonard gives you a, oh sure, okay, fine, kind of expression, like, okay, if
my
you
God.
say so.
Can I do a wisdom roll?
I think you're on pretty good terms. You might actually be allies with Leonard right now. You are fully allies with Leonard. You're just trying to...
I'm just trying to roll wisdom to see if I can catch the vibes.
Yeah, okay, roll,
If
add your
Adrian-
wisdom, and you can also add +2, since
Okay.
you've passed the mark of amicable.
See if it'll click in Adrian's brain. Mm-hmm. It's good, it's 23.
A 23! Okay, yeah, you get it. You get that he was implying that you were doing it to get attention from Liam.
Okay, that clicks, and then he goes like, and then he shakes his hands again.
Okay, cool. So are you going to get back in the water, or are you going to depart with Zachary?
I think he would go check up on Zach. To be like, how'd it go?
Oh, jeez. He grabs his heart. He's just managed to put his waistcoat on.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine. Are you all right?
Yes.
Anyway. He kind of snaps back into it. Friendly moment over, and he goes, there's something in the bath.
Oh?
Yeah.
Okay, how bad?
Demonic.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I'm done with the bathhouse. You?
Well...
There's also, he pulls Adrian, like, he doesn't really have any, like, sense of personal space right now, sorry, so he kind of, like, takes Adrian by the shoulder and, like, leans him in a bit closer and is like, there's also 3 bodies over where we saw those ghosts. I think we should collect Liam and go.
Okay, yeah. I'm fine with that.
But do you also think maybe we should try and get the other people out of here too?
If we can, I have a little bit of influence, I would say, with the Colonel and Father Underwood. I don't know about Mr. Quinn.
Well, doesn't Liam know Mr. Quinn?
Yes, perhaps he could convince him.
Maybe you should
Leave
invite
us.
them for drinks.
Oh, perhaps. Socializing.
Yes.
Just be like, bath is boring. Let's go drink.
Well, let's try something.
Well, I'm already dressed, so
Yes, I'll go see what I can do. You take a breather.
Yes, about that. Damn. I'm sensing energy from the statues as well. I think I just in case, I might want to go out and investigate them one more time.
Do I have to fall back into the pool?
I don't think so. I think just invite conversation.
All right, I can do that. I had a Father Underwood rather enthralled myself a moment ago.
He raises his eyebrows at this. Enthralled?
So, I think he seems to be a man who likes a bit of gossip.
Oh, he says. Right then. I hope it's enough to get him out of the, area, along with Mr. Quinn. I'll meet you by the exit after I'm done inspecting those statues.
All right, just be careful, and if you need to, give a shout.
I will. You as well.
Oh, thanks. All right, they split up. Adrian goes back over to the pool.
By the time you get back over to the pool, Liam comes over to you. You're sure you're quite all right?
Yes, I'm fine, but
okay.
Overall, we may be in a bit of trouble.
Well, I think we knew that coming in here. Come here, I want to show you something.
What are you doing?
No, just, it's right over here. Come on, let's have a look. The Colonel and the priest are watching with interest as Liam leads Adrian further into the water, and I'm going to now share what Liam observed with his witness token. So, you see this figure here in the middle? And the statue at the center of the semicircle is a bearded figure with a long staff with a serpent coiled around it. And the marbled features are fairly worn by the warm air and sulfurous elements, except for his right arm from the elbow down, which is holding a goblet under the mouth of the serpent. So the water for the bath is pouring from the serpent's mouth into the goblet, and from the goblet into the pool. Now, the goblet itself is a bronze goblet, and the marble on the right arm from the elbow down looks brand new.
Well, that's very odd.
Do you think it could be important?
I would think so. I don't know.
Go ahead, give me just a straight-up wisdom roll, and I'm going to do one for Liam as well, to see if we can remember anything from our schooling days.
A 6. Well, that rather reminds me of the caduceus.
Oh, that's yes. No. There was a Greek god, wasn't there? Oh god, my tutor would smack my knuckles for this. I can't remember.
Oh,
no, Asclepius or Asclepius or something like that. He was the god of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that makes sense for this being a hot spring.
And his right arm. Something happened?
Well, perhaps it broke off. I suppose it might not necessarily be significant.
It's pouring the water out, and it was replaced.
So what we can see, it looks like the water will have always come out of the mouth of the snake, but the arm holding the goblet underneath the mouth of the snake is new.
Investigate that goblet.
How about I use one of my witness to go over and really look at that statue? Can I do that? At
Yeah.
The arm and the goblet?
Yeah, you're going to go check out the goblet? Please do. Use that witness token, baby.
Yes,
okay.
please.
With your witness token, you can actually pull yourself up out of the water a little bit, and you're looking at it, and you can tell just with your eyes that the goblet that this statue is holding is actually removable. It's just a regular bronze goblet. It doesn't have any fancy ornamentation on it, but the hand is positioned in such a way that it can be taken in and out of the hand.
They're selling e-girl bathwater here. What the fuck?
Adrian conveys this to Liam, and he says, do you suppose this was an original feature of the statue? Or perhaps the arm was replaced specifically to hold this removable goblet?
You might be onto something there, Adrian.
Should I touch it? Should I remove it?
The Colonel and Father Underwood are watching you as you, stretch up out of the water to look at this. And they actually come over and they say, what are we looking at? You're just admiring the artwork?
Well, we happened to notice part of the arm on this statue has been replaced, and I was wondering if there was something funny about it.
The Colonel takes a look, and he's squinting at it. I don't see anything funny about that.
No, you're right. You're right, actually. Well, what do you chaps think? Do you suppose it would be a silly little gaffe if I were to take the goblet out of the statue's hand?
Oh my gosh, please roll me an influence. And I think you're on pretty dang good terms with both of these guys.
Damn.
For sure.
You're actually allies with both of them. Congratulations!
You guys
Adrian
are
has
Oh
friends.
my gosh.
Pretty good for someone who claims not to be very social.
Squad.
14.
14. Surprisingly, it is actually Father Underwood who seems a little bit disinterested, like, why would you do that? I thought we were, talking about Lord Bush. But Colonel Gurney, his eyes light up a little bit, and he's like, well, come on then, go give it a touch.
Yeah.
Push it out if you want.
Yeah.
He's thinking back to his younger days when he first joined and he was in his first squad and battalion. They were all just lads and mates and tomfoolery was abound.
Pulling pranks on each other.
Love it.
I mean, you've nailed it, yeah.
I will then. And Adrian goes to remove the goblet from the statue's hands.
You do so easily. You have to get fully out of the water to do so. And I will say that with this tomfoolery, this is actually, if Zachary wanted to try to kind of scout around right now, he could. I don't know if Zach's waiting till everybody leaves the bath or not, but everybody is very intrigued by you with your little towels wrapped around you, hoisting yourself out of the water to kind of poke the goblet.
Yeah, Zachary is watching this went off the rails and just rolls his eyes to himself and sneaks out to go investigate one of the statues.
Okay, Zach, go ahead. Let's do a little bit of simultaneous stuff here. Zach, you roll d20, add nothing, but you've got advantage now.
Are you kidding? 8.
Okay.
But the one before it was a 4.
All right, 8 is a moderate at least. So, Adrian, back to you. You get up there, you touch it, and you pull it free. And now the water from the snake's mouth is just pouring directly into the bath water. Everybody stands around you quietly as you hold the goblet triumphant. And Colonel Gurney is nodding his head like, yeah, you stole that goblet, all right. He's kind of not smiling exactly, but you can tell by the twitching of his mustache that he's greatly amused by this. Leonard is so bored now, and he actually turns around and he sees Zach inching along the edge to look at the other statues. But even though he looks at him a little quizzically, he's just like, He just sort of shrugs his shoulders, so you've been spotted. He's not coming over to talk to you. He just sees you and looks at you, and then looks back up at Adrian, kind of second-guessing a little bit, teaming up with these people, because he's like, okay, obviously there's something weird here, but what? For what? For why are we doing this?
Can Adrian come sit on the edge of the pool?
Yeah.
Talk to him?
Yeah.
Comes down, he's holding the goblet in his hand, like a kid with a big, fun Burger King cup or something. And he leans in, because he wants Leonard to get involved, and he's like, well, I was thinking, it seems this was an obvious modification, and we were just talking earlier about the man's interest in the occult, so I'm very curious.
Have you looked in the goblet yet?
No, not really. Can I look in the goblet?
Yeah.
He looks in the goblet and swirls around as he says the thing about the occult.
You do get Leonard's interest again. He comes over and he's like, oh, is there something in there?
Well, I think it has something to do with these waters.
You look inside the goblet?
Yeah.
There's nothing in there.
All right.
Drat.
He just keeps swirling it around.
So, this Lord Bush fellow
Well, I
is...
believe he thinks he's some sort of magician, and I would be a little worried about what he thinks he's up to.
Well, I wish there was more I could do. I can't really think of where we go from here. What do you do whenever your absent host, is supposedly a magician?
It's a really good question.
I just want Molly to come home.
Yes, by all means, I do think we should get most people out of here.
Do you think he's got some sort of sacrifice in mind?
Oh, Adrian hadn't even really thought about that. Oh, no. Perhaps so. He's collecting people. He's taking people, I would assume, against their will. As you say, your friend Miss Campbell does not behave this way. I think we've discovered something quite sinister.
Then we should figure out what it is that is keeping Miss Campbell and the others here. We should figure out what it is that he's using to keep them in this place.
We need to find his source of power.
Wait, well, you don't actually believe in that, do you?
Well, no, but what he thinks is his source of power.
Yes.
He
That
must
could
be using
good.
something against these people.
Perhaps perhaps the Colonel and I could have a look around between now and 12 o'clock when all of us are supposed to be in our rooms, and we could see if we could investigate what does a magician use for that sort of thing? And we're going to pause there, and we're going to go back to Zachary. Zachary, you are looking at this face-weathered... It's, like I said before, they don't really have facial features anymore. They're standing facing the water with their right palm extended down towards the water.
He's looking it up and down, but he's more interested on feeling the energy, so actually he's going to put his hand on the statue itself.
Okay, then do Arcane again.
15.
You can sense that this definitely has that same little kick of demonic energy as what you felt in the pool. It's almost like something lying in wait.
Well, that's, not good. He's kind of... Okay, so he's looking around the room and he's trying to connect these things. So he's looking at where the 3 specters are, and he's looking towards the pool. He's looking towards the statue he's next to, and he's looking at the statue that once held the bronze goblet. He's trying to figure out and think of any ritual or anything that he might know. Can I do like a wisdom roll?
Yeah, give me a wisdom roll. Give me a thinking. He's just thinking. He's putting the pieces together, going into his mind palace.
Okay, because my suspicion right now as a player is like, oh, this looks like the makings of a demon's nest. 16.
That's a success. As you're pondering all of this, you look around the semicircle of the statues, and what you observe with this is that all of the statues have their hands lowered and pointed facing towards the water. You think, maybe I ought to look at the hands.
So he does.
Give me a quick description on how you're looking at the hand.
How far from the ground are they? Are they 10 feet or like...
The statues are just slightly bigger than person-sized.
Oh, okay.
So you would be able, if you wanted to look at the hand, you just have to bend over.
Okay, so he walks to the front of it and he does look it over. I think he's also going to touch the underside to see if there are any sigils or anything like that engraved on them.
On the back of the hand?
Yeah, on the... So there's the palm of the hand, and then on the back of the hand, he's gonna, with his hand, feel if there's any strange bumps that doesn't feel like a hand, like, I don't know, an engraving or something.
There are.
Fuck. Yes, I'm so fucking smart.
You do feel an engraving.
He immediately looks underneath the hand.
And you can see that carved into the back of this hand, and in recent carving too, unweathered like the rest of the hand, you see a small circle with little lines radiating out from it, rather like a child would draw a sun. But driven into this etching is a deep, dark red, not unlike the red that you found in the stairwell with the 3 letters.
Shit. Okay, could I do a wisdom roll to see if Zachary recognizes the symbol?
Go ahead and do a wisdom roll, and I'll tell you what you know.
It's like a 20, and you go, no, he doesn't. Like it doesn't
know nothing. I just wanted to make you roll. I was on a power trip.
Ooh, 23.
23. Okay, with a 23, you actually call to mind. It's a little orb. Rather like maybe an orb of energy or an orb of power. Like you're thinking these things like an orb of light, an orb of power, something like that. And then you recall that you know a spell that is called Small Orb.
Oh my god, it's one of my cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean?
Okay, he's going to disregard anybody looking at him and just go straight to the other statue and look under that one's hand.
There is also a similar engraving.
He's gonna go to the 3rd one.
Another engraving.
The 4th one.
Similar? Are they all the same? You said they're similar. You didn't say they're the same.
They're the same. Forgive
They're
me.
the same.
Just
Okay.
poor use of language. They are the same. Exactly the same.
Okay, so that's 4 on one side.
Mm-hmm. You're now actually standing right next to the cluster of the 4 of us, and Nevin has kind of quirked his head up at this point because your feet, your shoes make a clacking sound on the tile as you walk along the semicircular arch here at the edge of the pool.
They're the same. They're the same, he says, and he goes across to the other 4.
Is your young friend there, all right?
Oh, yes, I'm sure he's fine. Just appreciating the architecture.
He's going over to the next 4. And are they all the same underneath?
Yes, indeed.
He's confirmed that they're all the same. And they're all small orb. For some reason, they are all the symbol of small orb. And they've also got the red thing on them.
The red is etched into the symbol of the orb.
So like a type of paint or chalk or something that's been kind of like pasted into.
Mm-hmm. Exactly like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like so many things. Like he wants to like see if he can activate it, but then he's like, don't do that. Your friends are in the pool. So he takes a glance at Adrian over his shoulder and heads towards the exit again.
I'll say Adrian clocks this. He sits up, then he slaps his knees, and he's like, well, it's been an all right time in the baths. I think we could turn in, gentlemen. And then he leans again, and he's like, to look around. And he winks.
Yes, should we be looking at architecture to figure out what this Lord Bush fellow is after? Should I be investigating pillars and...
Adrian looks at Liam. Need a little help.
Well, how about anything that looks more out of place than the rest? Or anything older than the rest?
Or newer.
That's true.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jesus,
Well-
Mary and Joseph. This is rather difficult.
Liam, cuss.
I know. Keep an eye out for green stains on the walls. That's one part of the architecture you can look out for.
Yes, we had an encounter with some of those.
Green stains? Well, if you say so. We'll let you know. Should we speak again before 12 o'clock?
That, I think, would be a good idea. See if we can confer on any findings.
All right. Whose room?
Mine? Mine?
I love your confidence.
Oh,
all right.
all
We'll
right.
meet in your room. Very good. I think the Colonel and I will remain here to enjoy a little bit more of the bath. Is that right, Colonel? Yes?
I would just be wary of the baths because it seems this so-called magician is luring people here specifically for them, so you never know what he's put in it. I did hear from your friend Miss Campbell that she had partaken of the healing waters and that might have had something to do with her outburst.
The Colonel and Father Underwood both look very alarmed. Go ahead, give me another influence roll, because I'm assuming that you're trying to get them out of the waters here. You're doing a pretty good job. You can roll with advantage and do just one roll for both of them.
Okay.
And remember, you've got your allies with them, so you get to add +3.
It's only 9.
Well, we haven't been affected so far. And what about Mr. Quinn? You've basically earned yourself a chance to continue to try to convince him, but he's not immediately sold on it.
Well, as a doctor, I worry. I would rather know what exactly is in my healing waters.
Okay, you can roll influence again.
Okay.
No advantage, but you can roll it one more time.
Using a different dice.
Oh, yeah, let me try a different dice. It's just 11 now.
Then Colonel pipes up and says, I think the father and I ought to stay here, because we don't know exactly if we'll miss something if we leave early. If there is something malignant afoot, as you are implying, which I find rather hard to believe, I feel like we would be missing an opportunity to investigate if we left early. What if something happens halfway through the bath, which was integral to convincing Ms. Campbell and the other servants here of whatever it is? So I really think we ought to stick around till the end of the hour, and then we will commence our investigation afterwards. It would be a sloppy job if we left early, but we will be very careful.
All right. Very well, Colonel.
Do be very careful, though. I mean, obviously it's very slippery.
Yes, mind your footing. Don't get it up your nose. Really burnt.
Adrian, did you want to try to convince Nevin to leave?
You can certainly give it a try. You know him at all. I don't know the man.
Okay, I'm going to do this off-screen, as it were. Liam is going to go try to convince Nevin. I actually rolled pretty well that time. Thank you for the dice, Chess. So that was a 23 to convince him.
Damn.
And so, yeah, because Liam is allies with Nevin. And so Liam goes over and he's going to use the same sort of trick that Adrian just tried. He's going to go over and he's going to say, well, my friend Adrian is a doctor and he's a little bit suspicious about this water and I wouldn't want you to get sick. You might also want to go check up on your wife, check up on Ida, make sure that she's doing well after her bath as well, because the two of us, we're going to head out. We don't really like the look of it. And so Nevin finds this convincing. He trusts Liam, and he's going to get himself all dressed up and ready to leave. And so now we can jump to Adrian, Liam, and Zachary reconvening outside the bath. Is that where Zach is waiting?
It is, yeah. Okay. Zachary's waiting outside.
Refresher, there is one member of staff standing there ready to attend on anybody who might need help, so we are not alone.
Okay. I think Zachary just sort of says they should head to his room for, I don't know, late night sherry or something. I don't know. I just know that he's like, we should probably not talk out here, and wants to get them up to his room.
Let's reconvene with Daniel.
Nevin is with us as we are departing. With Daniel?
Oh, that's his middle name. He prefers to go by with close friends. We do mean
Mr. Verdi.
Verdi, yes.
Liam would remember that he introduced the Quinns to Daniel Pritchard.
Yeah, but he also heard him at the table calling himself Verdi, so basically he's like, so what's the bullshit, guys?
Yeah, so he knows who he's talking about.
Yep. Adrian panicked. I panicked.
There's panic abound.
I just want to talk to Nevin and be like, hey, put a hand on his shoulder, be like, hey, people who like me, call me Daniel. And then just like, and wink at him and go, you can call me Daniel.
Nevin only got a moderate at trying to suss you out on what you're going on about. He's still a pretty easygoing guy. He's just sort of like, say no more. I've got a wife to get back to. Your business is your business, obviously.
I feel bad.
I do too.
Liam actually reaches out to Nevin and says, I'm sorry, Nevin. I promise I'll explain later. When I see you in church next, I'll give you the rundown on what's going on. We're a bit of a mess right now, I'm afraid. And Nevin departs to go back to be with his wife.
Can Adrian have brought the goblet with him?
I was just about to ask if he still had the goblet.
Yeah, he took it with him.
Zachary looks at this while Liam is talking with Mr. Quinn, and then he looks over at Adrian to say something, and then he looks at his hand and he goes, What's that?
Souvenir? Hello, this is Adrian Edwards, and I have stepped out of the narrative and become self-aware in order to give shout-outs to our dear listeners. So before the knowledge that I am simply a character in a story destroys my brain, I would like to thank Millie for your review on Apple Podcasts, and Mary for your review on the self-same platform. It means so very much to know that we have dedicated listeners who appreciate what we are creating together. Thank you again very much to both Millie and Mary for your reviews. So if you, dear listener, would like to hear your own name spoken aloud by any of us, please do leave us a positive rating or review and let us know who your favorite character is. You can leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or simply a rating on Spotify. It looks like Google doesn't have the option to do either thing, so I will refrain from saying anything rude about that because that would upset Liam very much. If you are unable to leave a review anywhere, please do continue to share this show with your friends. We are literally making this all on our own, no platform to share us, and no advertising whatsoever. So please, if you do enjoy Dandies in Danger, make sure to share your thoughts, share it with your friends, and let us know that you're having a good time, because it would mean the world to us to hear your feedback as listeners. Thank you very much. I am going to slip back into the world of Dandies in Danger now. Goodbye, goodbye, oh, farewell.
Liked what you heard? Let us know by using hashtag Dandies in Danger over on our Twitter, Insta, Tumblr, and TikTok in the listed links below. We'd love to hear any and all comments, questions, and theories as to where the story might be headed. Want to support us and our lads' adventures more directly? Then please consider clicking on the link and becoming a patron today. For just $1, you can gain access to our longer, uncensored outtakes and blooper reels. For $5, you can have access to exclusive stickers, in-world letters written by and for the lads, poetry by Adrian and Daniel, and original music from the show composed and scored by Chess Albanese. Can't afford to support directly? No problem. Podcasts survive by word of mouth. So if you like what you heard, tell your friends, family, and local graveyard ghosts all about these exciting tales. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Dandies in Danger is written and voiced by Elijah Bergateras as Zachary Wilkos, Cass as Liam Bardsley, Chess Albanese as Daniel Pritchard, and Toast as Adrian Edwards. It is edited by Toast. Original score and music composed by Chess Albanese. It is produced by Dandies team, and made possible by listeners like you.